Retro video games are notoriously difficult, but with the right techniques, something incredibly hard can become a whole lot easier. But what are the top tricks, the most spectacular secrets, and the strongest strategies? What if I told you that we are about to look at the top 100 retro gaming tips and tricks based on which ones got the most views? So where will your favorite game rate on this list? And what was the most popular secret or strategy of the year? We'll find out today on You Can Beat Video Games. If you're new to the channel, we're doing deep dives on retro video games and giving you the professional strategies that can be used by the casual gamer. Please make sure to subscribe and check out youcanbeatvideogames.com for episode lists, news, and official You Can Beat Video Games merchandise. And please join our Patreon for access to an exclusive Discord community and a chance to vote on future episodes. Let's get started. And here it is, the shrimp attack, although it's actually an entire tempura appetizer. This is easily one of the weirdest enemies in the game, and maybe one of the weirdest on the entire Nintendo. The key is that this boss cannot damage you whenever you're ducking. So when it gets close to you, you just want to duck down, and then you can jump up in the air and attack it as it moves in front of you. So that way you won't get hit. It may also be good to just jump in the air and hold down the attack button. That will make you just put your bat out in the air, and you'll be able to score multiple hits that way. So that's how you defeat the shrimp attack. You just duck and let it go over your head, and then follow behind it and attack. It's really that simple. And, oh, there he is. And he surprised us, see? Luckily, he didn't surprise us with his nuke attack. Treat this guy like a boss. Use fast on your melee attackers, and it looks like we probably should even use Cure 3 on the knight to try to keep him alive and maybe even have him survive another hit. Especially if Warmac uses nuclear, we may actually lose 2 characters right now, which would be pretty bad. Only the knight and the master probably can deal enough damage to this guy for it to even make a difference, so make sure to get your fast spells on them before your casters get murdered. We need to keep the red mage alive though, so that we can cast life magic after this if anyone dies. So if he gets low on health, you may want to use a curing spell on him. It's not like he's going to be very effective attacking this guy. Hopefully we'll get some critical hits. Critical hits are the best way to get through Warmech's thick armor. Good thing is, our master and our knight are pretty decent at making critical hits at this point in the game. So we just want to use our most powerful magic with the Black Wizard while he's still alive. Use Ice 3, use Lit 3, they don't do a lot of damage. It's just going to be cutting a few points into this guy, but every little bit helps. And hopefully we'll be able to get a few critical hits and finish him off. Well, we don't have a lot of curing magic to try to protect our knight. So we're going to use Cure 2, and I don't know, we'll try Fire 3, well it doesn't matter, game has been killed. A single attack from Warmech took him out. And wow, that was a 10-hit critical from Beat, and he still isn't dead. Oh, that shouldn't take too much more though. That did it. We did it, okay. We defeated Warmech, and we will get just a ton of experience points and gold for beating him, so of course Beat leveled up. Now let's talk about how to manipulate Setzer's slots. The game is programmed so that against most bosses you won't be able to get the 777 on the slot machine, which can automatically win the battle. But if you use an echo screen and then start up the slots during the echo screen's animation, that can make the reels become suddenly fair. Keep pausing and unpausing until you're paused on a chocobo that's right next to the first 7. Then you're going to unpause and quickly press the button at the same time. That should get you your first 7. Now we're going to do it again on the second reel. There's the chocobo and the 7. On the last one though, you're looking for an airship near a gray dragon. So that's the one right there. That'll get you your third 7, and then press the button again to activate Joker Doom. And we've instantly won. This is it, the Joker. Wait on the left side of the screen and equip the batarangs. You don't know what he's going to do first, the lightning or the gunshots, but you need to be ready to jump over gunshots. Those will deal you 3 damage and take you out very quickly. Then you just wait for him to run towards you. When he gets close, that's when you want to start unloading the batarangs, and then stay close to Joker as he backs up slowly across the screen. If you're right near the end of his gun, he won't be able to damage you with it, and you only take a few damage from the lightning. Now, if you need to use your fists, you want to do a similar strategy, but you may need to be a bit more conservative. Whenever he raises his hand to do the lightning, if you jump through him at the last second, and you won't take damage from contacting Joker if he's flashing because you've been hitting him. If you land behind him, the lightning only hits in front of him, so you'll be safe that way. And that's it. You've defeated the Joker and beaten Batman the video game. Or is it? It looks like we found Messiah. Don't be fooled. Just strike her with your sword several times. This is actually an illusion created by Sabera. Make sure your fire sword is equipped, and as soon as the battle begins, get behind Sabera and try to hit her 7 or 8 times, then quickly move out of the way. Then charge up to level 3. You want to lit off the level 3 blast right next to Sabera when she's still and shooting those shots, and if you got her enough times at the beginning, it'll only take 1 level 3 blast to finish her off. The next trick is called the sword warp. And to do it, we need to be in this room, but we want to keep resetting this room until we get a good set of enemies so that they're not in the way. We also need to equip our broadsword. We need to keep resetting this next room until all the enemies are out of the way and in the bottom of the screen, and we also need a full will meter. Once that happens, we want to walk onto the edge of the ice on the left side. This might work. Go down to this corner. Take a step to the left, and when you see yourself slip, that's when you want to attack. And right before you go through the wall, make sure you take a step down, or you may end up stuck in the wall. Once you get through, you want to keep doing this pattern where you go right up, right up, right up, and that will get you to the room that you're looking for, this one with all the pots in it. And then we're going to take this stairway. This is where we're going to do the third trick. This is an area called the Cave of Float Rocks, so we've warped to a totally different zone. We're going to need to use the blizzard, and we need to save the game. There's no enemies right now, but whenever we reload the game, you'll notice that there will be enemies. Very convenient. This is an even higher level area than the previous one, so be very careful in here. You need to transform an enemy into a snowman with that blizzard, then get down on top of it at the bottom of the screen, wait for the girl to push you until you're overlapping it, and then attack it with your sword as you transition downward. That will warp you here to the Temple of Mana. And if you head up into this room and talk to this woman, she will give you the Excalibur sword, the best weapon in the game. That's a pretty big upgrade from what we had before. We fight the boss, Slash. Stand over here on the right side of the screen on top of this crack in the ground before the battle begins. As soon as it starts, hit Slash with 1 basic attack, and then you're going to tap and hold to the left and press attack to do a shoulder bash. Now you want to press left and attack again to do another shoulder bash, and just keep doing that over and over again 11 times. Here it is in slow motion. So, left and attack, 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 left and attack. And I kind of messed it up a little bit at the end, but you want to finish with a dash special and then just keep spamming your regular special attack until Slash goes down. If you do it perfectly, you'll be able to finish Slash before he'll be able to fight back. Before we jump into level 3, I want to show you a way to skip the entire gold leaf quest. If you go to this spot and cut the left bush, then jump across, and just keep pausing until it sounds like Link has fallen into the hole. There it is. When you unpause this time, you're going to be holding down and jump, and you'll vault all the way to the bottom of the screen, allowing you to cut your way through, and you'll be able to find the slime key without doing any of that quest. It looks like a gold leaf because we haven't found any of the leaves yet, but it definitely counts as the slime key. And this is it. It's time to fight the nightmare. Charge up your beam before the boss fully materializes and space jump into the upper right corner. That's going to force it to come to the top of the screen, and you can drop underneath it and shoot that charged shot followed by a few missiles to advance to this form of the fight. The boss is applying extreme gravity, so your missiles won't work. Instead, keep charging up your beam until that pod on the bottom is flashing, at which point you want to get onto the wall right here. Charge up one shot and then follow it up with a barrage of missiles and keep firing as the boss moves towards you. Now we want to try to manipulate the boss so that it's over here on the right side. Keep space jumping around it so that it comes back to this point, and when it stops moving quickly, grab back onto the wall and hit it with missiles again. If we blast it enough times, it will start flashing, and it will move towards the right side of the screen before the Core X appears. This is one of the easier Core X's. It doesn't shoot at you, nor does it close the eye, so you want to hit it with missiles when it's not flashing, and if you can just hit it with 6 missiles, it will crack open, and we'll be able to get our reward, the gravity suit. With the gravity suit, we will move through water as if it was air. And this is the boss. His name is Tora, and it looks like one of the Coke polar bears somehow found a leather jacket and some Ugg boots. If you keep jump attacking him and stay in the lower part of the screen, he'll run to one of the corners, and then he'll get stuck there. Just keep doing your jump attack and moving back each time. Even if he summons that ice block, if you hit him in the legs with your jump attack, he'll just drop it and you won't get hit. So just trap him in either the lower left or the lower right corner, and just keep giving it to him with the jump kicks, and this guy will go down very easily. And that's all you gotta do. And once Tora is defeated, we'll be able to take out his evil weather machine and bring spring to New York. And here's the boss, Rushifel. Leave on your blockbuster for this fight. When Rushifel raises both arms and the screen flashes, he'll release this flower-shaped projectile which will chase you. You can try to escape it by running around the screen, but the best way to deal with it is to climb to the upper tier of blocks whenever he's creating the projectile, and quickly jump up to make it disappear. Anytime you see him going for this attack, try to do this so that you don't have to deal with that projectile. To damage Rushifel, you need to wait until he drops one of his arms, and then you can cling to the side of the block adjacent his head and shoot him with the blockbuster. So just like this. Watch out for those diamond-shaped projectiles that he also can throw at you. They will only move in one direction, so they're easier to avoid. Just keep looking for an opening, hit him whenever you can, and watch out for those flower projectiles, and if you keep doing that, eventually you'll be able to beat this guy. Don't forget that you have the essence of the soul stream as well. You just don't want to deal with that homing projectile, and you need to be patient and wait for him to drop the arms. Sometimes it takes a minute before he'll drop them. There's another good opportunity, and that's it. We've defeated Rushifel, who's the most difficult boss in the game. Now, there's an easier strategy that's a bit more aggressive. If you have full health, try this. Fly to this platform to start the battle, hit the spikes in the top, and try to land right in the middle of Rushifel's face. Blast him with the blockbuster as quickly as you can, and if you take damage, make sure to use the essence of the soul stream, because as Rushifel is dying, you can take damage and lose. And this is where the warp is. You just want to go all the way over to the left. The trick works sort of like the one that we do on the boss. So just go all the way to the left and then tap right. Then start rapidly tapping up. And you want to wait until you pop out on the right side of the screen. If you do that, you've performed the trick correctly. That's all there is to it. It may seem like nothing has changed, but we actually warped ourselves backwards all the way to level 1. We can use the pink potion like we had used before to come up and get the pink key and then go down into this tree. If we just fall to the bottom, don't get the Wand of Wonder in here, don't forget about that. In fact, just try to avoid most of the treasures if you're taking this route. It's a shortcut to the end anyway. So we're going to go all the way down to the bottom, and down there we're going to see our good friend the Demon Skull. Yeah, you remember this boss from before, except now we have a bunch of better equipment, so we're going to like really trash this guy. Yeah, he was never a very difficult boss. And then you'll play level 2 next. You'll notice this is different. Yeah, Penelope, worth 40,000 points. That's not the damsel in distress that we rescued before. No, she's the one that we would get for finishing level 5. And then all we need to do is beat level 2, and then beat level 3. Here's the rock face boss. And whenever you beat level 3, that finishes the game. Look at that. 100,000 points, the final princess. The game is completed. Pretty cool, right? Here is a good trick. If you stand in the doorway, jump and use your Wind Bane to collect the piece of the Iron Sword, you'll be able to keep all of your keys, all of your magic points, and the Wind Bane for the next area. So now that we're in the next area, you need to be careful also that you don't lose all of your magic points. If you run out completely, you will lose the Wind Bane, but you can actually use it to pick up the Golden Fly, which will make this forest area super easy to finish. You can now go right past the frog, and not only can you use it to collect the Golden Fly and easily clear that section, but your Wind Bane will work on the water elemental in the next area. All you need to do is head over here to the right and we'll find some magic. You probably won't need it, but there's even more magic over there. And then just make your way all the way over to the far right where we'll meet the water elemental. And if you stand on this platform up here, this one, you can just keep firing the Wind Bane and very quickly defeat this boss. Now I'm going to show you the normal way to beat this area, but this is a very fast way to get through the game, although it is possible that you might lose a life as you go up above. You can even keep the Wind Bane into the next area by doing the same trick, and here in the Fire Zone, there is another item you can collect with it, the Golden Crown, which can be very quickly collected using the same trick. So that is a very, very powerful trick that you can use. This is the boss, Magma the Fierce. Immediately jump up to this grass platform and avoid that one random shot that comes out at the end, and head over to the left. We need to hit a switch all the way in the upper left corner. Now you can actually go straight in front of Magma here, it's safe, and head over to the right, trigger that switch, which is right next to Mr. Fierce, and that's it. If you hit those two switches, all the tiles below Magma will disappear, he'll fall into the water, and be destroyed. And that's it. That's the end of Magma's Molten Tunnel. I'm going to show you the shortcut path first. Whenever you drop down into this room, you want to hold to the left so that you get underneath the eggplants, and then you can go down to the bottom. When you get to this room, you want to head over to the right, and we're trying to get to the lower right corner, but to do that we need to come up through this room, make your way across. There's a hospital here. You may want to note where this hospital is in case you get assaulted by eggplant wizards when you're not trying to do the shortcut route. But we can avoid all of the eggplant wizards if we take this shortcut. This is actually the last room. We can intimidate this guy if we want to buy any items, but our health will be completely refilled when we get to World 4, and that's the trick. That's what it looks like. This is the cutscene at the end of the third fortress, and you'll see that we proceed right on to the final level. So how do we do it? We want to jump into this wall, and right as we pass through the edge, you need to jump. We weren't supposed to jump when we did the previous trick in the World 2 fortress, but we do want to jump here because that's what triggers the trick. And if you do it perfectly, you'll skip through. Before we move on, let's talk about a way for Tella to cast Meteor without dying. You need to waste most of his MP so that he has two spells next to each other, one that he can cast and one that he can't. Highlight the one that he can't cast, then move over onto the one that he can. Then you're going to press A and towards the one that he can't cast at the same time. If you do it right, the game will let you cast the more expensive spell, and after you do so, Tella will suddenly have a ton of magic points, and he'll be able to cast Meteor. Meteor takes a very long time to cast, but it deals a ton of damage, and it cannot be reflected by an enemy's wall. So we just need to kind of wait for it to go off here, and we can kill Bacon in a single shot. It's really that simple. Any character that can cast magic outside a battle can take advantage of this glitch, but it will never be more exciting than it is with Tella, so that he can finally cast that Meteor spell. There's a crazy trick you can do here in Marble Zone Act 2, but it's pretty difficult. You want to get on this first moving platform and get to the leftmost edge of it. You can see what Sonic's shoe should look like in the zoom in the left sidebar. Then you need to ride it down to the exact right spot, and you'll be able to press right followed by left in the jump button to vault you to the end of the stage. I'm going to show it again in slow motion, so here's what you need to do one more time. You get to the leftmost edge of this platform, ride it down, and when it gets right up past that line, that's when you're going to tap right, and then quickly tap left, and then you want to hit all the jump buttons in rapid succession, so it's like right, left, ABC. If you do it perfectly, you'll vault all the way to the end of the stage, and you'll be able to finish this act in roughly 20 seconds. Pretty awesome. This is where we can warp to the end of the game. Watch what happens when you jump over the boss, press select in the air to pause, and when you unpause, just hold to the right. When you continue, suddenly we're in a different boss's room. Let me show you it again in slow motion. This trick is called a wrong warp, and it needs to be performed very precisely. The good news is, though, that every boss's room in the game is a checkpoint, so if you mess it up, you'll be able to continue right here at the boss's room and attempt it again. What you want to see is this glitched out screen. That means that you got it. And when you continue, we'll be in the other boss's room. Now, there's another part to this trick. We're not done yet. In here, you want to get hit by a projectile, and then you want to stand next to the door so that you get hit by another projectile and have it push you through the door into another glitched out room. And when we continue, we'll be right outside the final boss's room. The boss, Bassaquer, just jumps back and forth across the screen and occasionally will shoot bullets at you. If you have the Art of the Fire Wheel and a lot of Nimpo magics, if you can hit him at just the right angle, right there was a good shot, you can hit him for 3 damage each time. Now, if you don't have the Art of the Fire Wheel, hopefully you have the Windmill Star. Whenever he shoots at you, you can use the Windmill Star to counter the shots. So attack him when he jumps near you, shoot a star out whenever you see those bullets appear on the screen, and that is another way that you can beat this guy, but you'll take him out much more quickly with the Art of the Fire Wheel if you know how to hit him just right to get those 3 damage blasts. And that is it for Act 3. If you line up with that wheel well, that'll put you in a good position to try to stun lock Bebop here. But Bebop is much easier to stun lock than Rocksteady. It doesn't have to be as precise. If you just get up close to him and start using your special attack, there's a good chance you might just stun lock him no matter where he is on the screen. So I highly recommend you try stun locking this guy. But let's say you're not very good with the special attack. Jump kicks can take this guy out too. Now, he's a little bit more dangerous than Rocksteady. He can't shoot his gun upwards, which is nice, but he will try to punch you out of the air, so you want to watch out for that. He also seems to do a lot more charge moves than Rocksteady does. Yeah, see, there was that punch out of the air. So I would say that the jump kick method is a bit more dangerous than trying to get him with a stun lock, but if you're not very good at the special attack, this is a viable way to fight the boss. So just keep trying to get him with the jump kicks. Watch out for his counterattack. You just kind of want to be outside of his range right after you hit him so you don't get hit by a punch. Once he's flashing like this, he's almost dead. I think Bebop may be even easier than Rocksteady if you're very good at doing the special attacks. Let's take a look at this trick that will allow one player to control both Lee brothers. Start a game on 2-player mode B and then kill the first enemy. Don't talk to Brett yet. Instead, you want to try to kill Jimmy. Don't use jump kicks on him though, he'll just bounce you off. Instead, you want to use normal attacks so that you can be very in control of how much damage you're dealing. You want to take him down to his last bar of health, and then you're going to pick up controller 2 and walk him slightly above where Brett is over there on the left side. Don't worry about Brett, he'll wait to die for us. So we're going to move Jimmy over here, don't talk to Brett, and then take control of Billy again, walk all the way over here, and you're going to do a cyclone kick to finish off Jimmy, and as he's flashing out of existence, you're going to walk down and talk to Brett. Brett will give you his normal message, and after he dies, you'll notice that Jimmy is still alive, but he has 0 health. You need to kill all of these enemies without Jimmy taking any damage. So I usually take control of Jimmy at this point and just try to do as many cyclone kicks as I can to take these guys down. This is the most difficult part of the trick. Once all these enemies are defeated though, we're going to be able to exit out of the door, and you exit with both characters. Once we get on the other side, Jimmy will have disappeared, but Billy will now be able to control both characters. So if we press select, we'll be able to switch over to Jimmy, and he'll have a completely full life bar now at 84 health. Pretty good. He also has 5 nunchucks for us to use. It's actually pretty awesome that you'll even be able to control 4 characters when you get deeper into the game, but don't feel like you're getting away with something here. The 2-player mode does make the game more difficult, so the enemies and the bosses will be harder, but you'll have an extra character to help you out. You're invincible when you first get into the rooms, so you want to take that opportunity to get in as many cheap shots as you can. When the boss does an attack with both arms, and then he'll do an attack with the one on the left side, that's when your invincibility will wear off and you'll need to get out of the way or take damage. The boss's name is Mick Wimpy, but if you don't know what you're doing, you're going to get Mick wrecked. He always does a very predictable pattern. He'll move around a bit and he'll try to stop right in front of you, and he'll attack left, right, both arms. He does that every single time. The way to counter this is whenever he stops moving, you want to move a bit to the right so that you get out of the way of that left arm attack. And then you want to move over so that you're right next to the left arm that attacked, turn forward and start shooting the boss. The other 3 attacks, the 2 on the right side and the both arm attacks, will miss you when you're center on the boss, and you'll get in a ton of hits. Then you just need to move out of the way of the next left arm attack, and repeat until he's destroyed. Of course, there is another way to beat this guy. Remember those invisibility potions that we got? Well, if you haven't used them all up, you can select them, press the A button to become invincible, and just start shooting at McWimpy until he dies. Your invincibility may wear off and you'll have to press A again to use another invisibility potion, but whenever you defeat a boss in this game, you get all your potions back. You also get back your TNT, anything that you found in a house. So they are a super broken item and are an easy way to defeat any of the bosses in this game. But then there's this way too. If you use a key, walk to that spot and press the A button, you'll trigger a glitch which kills the boss immediately. So for the cost of 1 key, you can also defeat pretty much any boss in the game. You'll need to get onto the right spot and just press the A button. It's that simple. So this is kind of a difficult trick. It involves doing a glitch, but if we can complete this trick, it's going to gain us just a ton of levels and make us very, very powerful right away. So here's what it looks like. Get close to the wall. We're gonna back into it and pause. And I'm going to break this down in slow motion so you can see it better. Here's what you do. You get close to the wall and then you hit down and right and hold it. Then you want to quickly tap left and pause right after you press left. Before you unpause, hold down and right again, and then unpause, and then you want to tap left and quickly pause again. If you do it right, you'll go into the wall, and whenever your whole arm is into the wall, you can unpause and hold left, and then you want to let go right as you get to the top of the screen, and that will bring you down here. You need to be careful down here. The enemies are kind of powerful, and we are not at this point in the game, so carefully defeat this robot. We're going to fight a boss down here, and if we do it correctly, we should be able to beat this guy, and then we're going to just gain a ton of levels. This boss is called Zane. So you want to jump over that box and attack it, and you want to stay over here on the left. It always shoots downwards in the middle there. Once you kill the box, you just want to hold up and jump so that you hit the head. Then walk over to one of the sides so that it will shoot at you, and as soon as it shoots, move back into the middle and attack it again. That's a good way to avoid its shots. After a few hits, it will explode, and we will get a major level up. You'll notice right away that you immediately can do the slide move, which you couldn't do before. And we'll grab file number 5. Once we analyze file number 5, we can actually go straight to Australia now, which will take us to the end of the game practically. We can face the boss, Cold Stare. To release the boss from its protective block of ice, you'll need to hit it 8 times with your fire rod. Once it's been released, each of the 3 eyes has 64 hit points, so it can be killed off pretty quickly with the fire rod, but you may find yourself short on magic power. If you run out of magic power, either use medicine to restore it and then continue using your fire rod, or try using charge attacks with your level 3 sword. The charge attacks still do great damage, so you should be able to finish off the remaining eyes no problem. Once the last eye has been defeated, we'll be able to get yet another heart container, and then we'll find another woman trapped inside of a crystal. Gnarly is not one of the most difficult levels in the game, but the next level, Tubular, absolutely is. A cape is highly recommended for this level, and at the beginning you'll cross over some pipes and a few charging chucks, but that's not the main attraction here. You'll need to abandon your Yoshi, hit the P switch, and then hit the question mark block below it. That will release a balloon. You want to try to grab the balloon when it's floated off a bit to the right, because you only have a few seconds until you run out of air. If you get hit by anything while you're in balloon form, you'll drop like a stone, so you need to be extra careful. The last balloon item in the course is located underneath this first charge and chuck, and if you run out of air, don't despair. You can still collect the balloon by hitting the right side of the box with a cape attack, so the balloon will pop out and Mario will immediately pick it up, allowing him to float on, just like Modest Mouse told us to. Make sure to hit those Lava Lotus enemies from below before collecting anything above them, and if you can cross the goal line while you're still inflated, you'll earn yourself a 1-up. Tubular is one of the most difficult levels in the game, so if you're having trouble, I recommend bringing a blue Yoshi here, hitting the P switch, and then just skip over the balloons. You want to jump onto this formation of blocks, which is a transformed bit of coins, and you should be able to grab one of the red Koopa shells from there. Once Blue Yoshi has a Koopa shell in his mouth, the rest of this level should be easy. Just fly to the goal line. It's really that simple. Something else you might want to try is bringing the green orb item here. If you use the green orb after you've collected the balloon, you'll be able to float up to the top of the screen, and then you'll be able to do the map glitch here in the special world. So this is the only way I know to do the map glitch here in the special world, and as soon as it fades out, you'll be able to see what it looks like. So here it is, Glitched Out Special. The Kalhar boss monster is one of the most difficult bosses in the game, and you'll want to try to keep it as far on the right side of the screen as you can by jumping at it whenever it charges you, but inevitably you'll end up stuck on the left side of the screen at some point, although the longer you can prevent that from happening, the better. Whenever it attacks with the head, if you're on the far left, you'll need to hold up and press B to jump without shooting to get a high enough jump to clear the head, although it's much easier to jump over the lower punch, and you can continue to shoot while jumping over the punch. If you didn't have the plasma cannon here, this guy's going to be very tough, so hopefully you have 99 lives and have a lot of chances to finish this guy off. Using our magical aura magic, this boss is super easy. Just get right up next to it and slam this guy with a magical aura. It could not be easier. There is another way to beat this guy, and I'll show you that whenever we fight him in the second part of the game. Now, I promised when we fought the fire wheel before that I would show a different strategy here at the end of the game, and this is it. You want to stay under this platform and just keep attacking until the fire wheel lands on the ground, then resume that position. So go right there. You'll be safe from its shots and you'll be able to hit it as it rolls above you. So wait here, just rapidly attack, and when it lands on the ground, that's when you're going to jump up to the next platform. And as soon as it gets up above you, you want to resume your position. So just stay here, jump up. As soon as it goes above you, get back into position, keep attacking. And if you just keep doing that, you can easily defeat the fire wheel without using any magic and without taking any damage. And this time, it's Kraid. If you remember Kraid from the original Metroid, well, let's just say he's a little bit bigger this time. Charge up a shot as Kraid emerges from the ground, and when the hand in front of his face is lowered, shoot him right in the eyes, which will cause him to open the mouth. Then quickly switch over to super missiles and shoot one in his open mouth. That's how you're going to defeat this boss. He only has 1,000 health, so 4 super missiles or 3 super missiles and 1 regular will work. Use a charged shot or a missile on his eyes to make his mouth open, and when the mouth opens up, hit him with the strongest thing you have. Now that's the normal way to defeat Kraid, but it's actually possible to defeat him before he fully emerges from the ground the first time he opens his mouth. So what you want to do is wait for Kraid to come out of the ground, and just like before, you're going to hit him in the face with a charged shot and switch over to missiles, but you want to do it at just the right time. There are 5 positions in the animation for Kraid opening his mouth, and you want to hit him on the second position which will lock his mouth open. So here's what it looks like in slow motion. Wait, jump right before he opens his mouth, and in that second position, that's where you need to hit him with the first missile, and if you get it, just unload on him with whatever you have. If done correctly, you can defeat Kraid the first time he opens his mouth, and you'll notice that the screen is a little bit messed up because it never went to the top like it would before, but you can just exit and re-enter the room to fix that. And the way I like to fight Kraid is to try to freeze some of his projectiles. They're very annoying because the spike ones can actually block your shots. And once I have a couple of them frozen, especially the ones right in front of them, I'll switch to missiles and just light them up. It's also pretty easy to beat this guy if you just get down into ball form and try to hit him with bombs, but the missile method is much faster. And once he's defeated, you can grab this last energy tank. Once again, it's not going to give us any additional health, but it's going to refill us to full. At the top of this massive set of ribs is a hideous alien skull. This is the boss, Gaiga. To defeat Gaiga, you want to get just slightly to the right of center and stay at the bottom of the screen, and just start firing. Gaiga will move to the right as it opens its mouth, and you will easily clear it. Now, if you don't have the laser or any options, well, it's going to be a bit harder. You'll need to avoid Gaiga's shots and try to shoot it in the mouth when the mouth is open. If you can lure it all the way to the right, you can despawn the right eyeball, and then Gaiga won't be able to launch it at you. You will need to watch out for the left eyeball. Whenever it launches that eye, try to shoot it, or it will chase you until the boss is defeated. With Gaiga's 2 eyes cleared, we're just going to continue to stay down here at the bottom, try to avoid Gaiga's shots, and just keep shooting when the mouth is open. Let's talk about the Red Planet Death Warp. Get yourself down to your last point of health and make your way to the very end of Act 6. Clear out this toad up on the top, and we need to get that toad on the left side to shoot a bullet at us, and we want to hit it in mid-air while we're above that gap, and we want to drop onto a moving rock. So it's kind of tough to set this up, but if you can do it, it looks like that. Whenever you respawn, it'll take you directly to the boss. So while there's no practical reason to go to Zone E, there are some interesting unique items at play here. So we'll be able to see things like the hammer and the boat, which aren't used anywhere else in the entire game. Watch out for beetles that are hiding in bushes. You'll be able to see their eyeballs poking out, so you'll know where they're hidden if you're paying attention. Just carry a box with you at most times and you'll be able to duck inside for safety. We can find a star hidden in the boxes up here at the top, and then as we make our way down to the bottom, there is an acorn down here if you need to refill some health. So grab that flashing acorn, keep a box with you to defend yourself against the beetles that hide in the bushes, and there are a few things to be found in the bottom 2 rows of this pyramid of boxes, so once you clear those out, you can head through the door. In this area, you don't want to scroll the screen too far to the right or you won't be able to collect that 1 up. Remember, the screen only will scroll in one direction in this game, so once you go too far to the right, you won't be able to go back to the left. Over here, we're going to find a boat that will get us across this small section of water, but it feels like a missed opportunity, like we could have done something a lot more interesting with this boat. And then we'll find a hammer, which is a similar type thing. There's just this small section of rock that we need to use it to hammer through, and there's nothing hidden in those rocks. I've checked them all. The one nice thing about the hammer is that you can use it as a weapon, so you can use it to hammer these spring boxes on the other side. But it's just a strange item that only appears in this one small section of this optional zone. Yeah, I would have liked to have seen the hammer maybe in some other zones. It might have been fun to use against some enemies. Maybe the programmers thought it was too good. This is the last section of Zone E, and this fulfills the quicksand requirement that was a mandatory part of every platformer game from this era. There's a few hidden stars above that enemy, And these bombs, if you hold them for too long, will blow up in your hands, so you're better off just using the boxes instead. We can get a 1-up star in this treasure box, and the only way that I found to get those last few flowers at the top is to have a second player throw you up there. If you touch this door, you'll automatically go in, but if you're careful, you can get an acorn that's on top of the box right above it on the right side. You gotta be real careful though. If you touch the door at all, you will go into the boss. The boss is some kind of strange electric fish, and you'll want to hit it with the ball 5 times. If you throw it when the fish is very low, you can get multiple hits on it, and that's probably a good idea because if you let that fish get out of control, it can be one of the most difficult bosses in the game. But this time I want to show you a trick. Instead of going down through the floor, it is possible to go through this green gate from the wrong side. It only works when the light is on the left side. It won't work if the light is on the right and Samus is on the left. But equip your super missiles, get a running start, hold R to angle up, and you're going to jump towards the door, and when you're right here, launch a super missile, and if you are in the precise position, you can open the gate from the wrong side. This is certainly not a trick that you need to do. You can just as easily work your way around, but it is something fun to try. The feather is even better this time. You can see this is the more common place to use it. You want to jump near the S or the T in the word stop, because if you miss the jump, you still can get across with Lakitu's help. But if you jump over near the O or the P, there's a good chance that he'll be carrying you back to where you started from, and that will not be good. Well, it looks like we found another feather, and there's a more difficult shortcut that we can attempt, but it will take us much farther than the other one that we did already. So we'll try this more challenging shortcut this time. To do it, we're going to go past the goal line and start a big power slide to the right, so we're going to jump and hold to the right. And we're going to use our feather right before we hit the wall, and if you do it just right, it'll carry you far enough so that even if you don't make it all the way to the other side, Lakitu will still carry you across, and you can see we skipped a huge chunk of the track by doing this. We're on the last lap and we were lucky enough to get a feather again. I'll show you what happens if you don't quite make this jump. You can see we jumped near the S in the word stop, and we were able to make it far enough that Lakitu picked us up and carried us the rest of the way, which isn't as good as making it all the way across, but it's still pretty good. So make sure to jump near the S or the T whenever you try to attempt that feather jump. But there is yet another feather jump that you can try here in Bowser's Castle too. Just like in many other tracks, you can slide near the goal line and jump to the out of bounds area and have Lakitu carry you for an extra lap. But it's even more forgiving here in Bowser's Castle too. You can just do a U-turn and drive towards the edge and do a feather jump out over the goal line, and that will probably count. Make sure not to do this until you've actually completed Poison Pond, because you'll want to exit out of it. But we're going to do the 2 Kongs trick here, so wait on that platform, enter the auto barrel, and mash select. If you get 2 hand slaps, you'll be in control of both Kongs. And then you want to work your way over to the right where the Rambi is. Make sure neither Kong dies. Remember, Diddy won't be able to be killed by enemies here, and you want to try to generally stay together. Just like in the reverse warp trick, we're going to head over to the right of the checkpoint and make sure that Donkey lands on the Rambi crate, but Diddy makes it across the pit. Now we're going to keep them a little bit separated until we can drop Diddy into a pit on the right, but make sure that Donkey stays alive. We'll lose a life for this, but now whenever we go into Poison Pond, we'll be riding Rambi. Don't press any buttons as the stage loads up. and don't press the attack button in general, you could freeze up the game. You want to start out by walking to the left, and then you'll have control of Rambi in here, but you can't do as much with him as we could with Espresso in Croctopus Chase. This part is difficult. If you get too close to any of these mouths, that's instant death. So you need to duck under the first one, and don't wait too long here because that tongue will start moving backwards before you jump onto this platform. Over here, don't jump on that left tongue, but jump onto this one. You need to be ducking there or you'll be instantly killed. Then you need to jump down to one of these platforms before you end up in that mouth. If you're having trouble with that, you could try to wait on the treasure chest for a moment and try to time your jump better. That part's tough. Over here, keep jumping to the right. You'll need to jump over to the tongue on the right side, but wait until it comes out, and you need to be ducking again, and then you can just walk off the edge of that one to drop down onto the lower tongue. And that brings us to the boss, Mistral Winds. I definitely remember this guy from Kirby. Anyways, don't stand directly above him and have him below you for very long, because this thing can move upwards very fast, and that would be bad. So instead, you want to stay about as far away from it as you can, and just try to hit it whenever you have the opportunity. If it's flying over your head, aim upwards and shoot at it. If it's to the left or right at you, pelt it with whatever weapon you have, and just keep chipping away at this thing. If it becomes electrified, it can't be damaged during that time, so just avoid it. And something you can try, if you go all the way to the right, it will always come over there and attack you, so you may be able to bait it onto the right side. That's another strategy you can try. This trick only works on older cartridges that contain the 1.0 version of the game. We're going to have Palom target Porum with a tier 1 magic spell that should kill her off, and as soon as she gets her turn, we're going to have her hold L and R until you see the can't run message, and then she should immediately choose Twin. If you did it in the right timing window, Palom will start mimicking the last person's attack. Once he's in mimic mode, he won't stop mimicking until the fight ends or Porum uses the Twin ability. Now for the tough part. We revived Porum, and we need to have Tella cast Stop on Cecil or Porum, but before Stop resolves, we need to have the other character do something that targets Mylon, probably an attack, and then Cecil or Porum, whichever one was targeted, needs to get their turn before Stop happens. So to set that up, I actually had Porum cast Slow on herself. It's tricky to get the turns to line up perfectly. Now here we go. Tella's going to target Porum with Stop. Cecil's going to attack Mylon. And now Porum got her turn, so she's going to choose a consumable item, cancel back to the item menu, and then switch that item with the carrot. Then, if Tella's Stop resolves, Palom will use the carrot, dealing tons of damage to Mylon. Now we just need to finish off that last gas to win the fight. If you're not sure if you have a version 1.0 cartridge, keep trying to get the mimic glitch to work. Over here, we're going to find a door, and that door leads to the boss. So once you head inside, make sure that you have your silver bullets equipped, and this time make sure that they are loaded into the gun, because silver bullets are very important against the copycat ninja. He spawns 2 other ninjas, and if you shoot with the silver bullets, your bullet will penetrate both copycat enemies and kill them, and it'll also deal damage to the boss. Now when the boss throws shurikens at you, you need to jump over the first one, but it will cause him to throw the second one up in the air, so you should be able to duck under the second one that he throws. As long as you have a decent amount of silver bullets, this boss should be no problem. Because it's time to face the twins, Randy and Andy. Stand in front of the left twin, face right, and use your stone fists. That should knock them both down. Now try to finish them off with the fatal steps. If they do manage to get up, these guys are extremely dangerous, and they'll do all sorts of jump kicks and crazy attacks. Make sure to use your Karma Jolt if you get low on health. Double jump over Vader, hitting him from behind, and get over here into the right corner. You want to work Vader into the right corner so that whenever he swings his lightsaber at you, it'll be slightly over your head and you'll have a good opportunity to hit him a couple times before you need to hit down to block. If he jumps straight up in the air and then lands, that usually means he's going to do this trash attack. So you want to keep double jumping in the air to clear that trash out, and sometimes they'll even drop force power-ups for you, which is a good way to restore your force if you have to use it to heal yourself. It can be very annoying if Vader just keeps throwing the trash, and that's something that happens occasionally, but this is what you're looking for. You want to keep pushing him into that right side so that you can hit him when he has the high ground. Back when Vader fought with Obi-Wan, he learned that having the high ground was something that's very important, and he thinks that's still true here, but it's not. Having the high ground is actually really bad in this fight. If Vader jumps over you, you want to double jump over him and hit him from behind, and then keep trying to push him back into the right. So that's how you counter that strategy. And if he jumps straight up like that, remember, it's going to be the force trash attack. So get ready to keep doing your double jumps, and if you are already at full force, it might be a good time to use a heal, so if you pick up any force orbs from the trash, they won't go to waste. You do want to be conservative during this fight. Remember that if you hold down and Y, you'll deflect Vader's saber attacks, so just do that whenever it looks like you're going to get hit, and try to get a feel for the rhythm. You'll be able to get a few swings in when he's above you, but as he drifts down, then you'll have to switch to holding down and Y to block. Heal constantly because you will be picking up more force power-ups, and if he stops like this, well, this is helpful. I'm glad that he stopped for a moment so that we can just restore our force, but he's going to go back to the normal attack here in a moment. Here it is. Just 2 more balls of health. Keep up the pressure on Vader when he gets to this final part, and make sure that you heal yourself anytime you see yourself dip below about 1/3 health. And here's our first Dark World boss, the Helmasaur King. It seems pretty obvious that you need to use the hammer to chip away the protective mask, but did you know you can also use bombs? Hitting the mask with the hammer only deals 1 damage, and bombs actually deal 4, but it's a lot harder to line up bombs and a little bit easier to just chip away with the hammer, so I do recommend using the hammer. Once the mask is gone though, the hammer will deal full damage and actually be able to hit it for 8 points, but it's still a lot easier to hit this guy with arrows. Just line up in front of its weak point and rapidly shoot the arrows, and the Helmasaur King won't last more than a few seconds. With such an obvious vulnerable spot on its face, I can see why the Helmasaur King would want to wear that big protective mask. In any case, once he's done exploding, we'll be able to grab another heart container, and we'll also get the first of our 7 crystals. Here on the 7th floor, we finally reached the boss's chamber. And just like a serial killer on TV, Aghanim has a flair for the dramatic. He wants us to watch him murder Zelda. There's nothing we can do. All we can do is stand here and watch. And that's it. The magic hit Zelda, and she's blinked out of existence. The 7 wise men seal has been broken. This is not good. The legendary hero cannot defeat the power of evil now. Yeah, we'll see about that, Aghanim. He vanishes into the room behind us, and if we strike the curtains with our sword, we'll be able to open it up. This seems like a trap, and it probably is, but it doesn't matter. We've got to take this guy out. We need to deflect these energy balls that Aghanim shoots back at him, and we'll need to use our Master Sword to do that. I like to do a charged spin attack. I feel like that gives me better accuracy, but just slashing at it will work. Sometimes he doesn't do the energy ball, and instead will do one that explodes into smaller blue balls, and those will not deflect back and hurt him. In addition to the Master Sword, you can also use the bug catching net. Now, if you see Aghanim go up into the top of the middle of the screen and face downward, he's going to do that lightning, so you just want to get up into one of the top corners to avoid it. And you'll notice that the bug net may actually be better than the Master Sword. It essentially does the same thing as the spin attack, but you don't have to charge it up. So I like using the bug catching net. I think that's the best way to fight Aghanim, and it only takes 6 deflected balls to beat him. If you're having trouble fighting Aghanim, don't be afraid to use some magic potions to restore your life points. But if you're using the bug catching net and avoiding his lightning attack, you should really have no problem landing the 6 hits that you need to send this guy back where he came from. With that, Aghanim is defeated, but he draws us into the dark world with him. And here he is. This is Louis Torture. Don't use your knife right away, it'll just bounce off. You need to jump kick him a few times so that he drops his bulletproof vest first. Once you grab his vest, press B to use your knife from far away, and then he'll get it, so you'll need to jump kick him a few more times to get the knife back. Whenever you jump kick the boss, you want to jump kick him and then jump kick again so that you move through the boss, and it will make it more difficult for him to counterattack you. So just alternate between using the knives and the jump kicks, and you should be able to shank this guy, and move on to stage 4. This is the Bonosaurus. You want to hit this guy in the face with your wheels, and when you deal enough damage to it, the head will break off of the body, and sometimes it will do this attack where the bones will fall on you. And you could try to do what I just did there and jump over the head, but that's the more difficult way to do it. This is the easy way. You stay over on the left side, and right as that bone is dropping down to the lower tier, you jump up to the top tier. So wait, and when that bone is coming down, you jump up. There is one other attack this guy might do. He may just drop the head down to the bottom without spilling all the bones on you. If he does that, the head is going to come flying at you at some point, so just be ready for that and move out of the way. Here's that attack. So get out of the way. The boss is extra vulnerable right as the head reattaches to the body, so you want to try to get in some hits at that point, and just look for the 2 attacks that it does after the head has been severed. If it drops the bones on you, get over to the left, and if it just drops the head, be ready to dodge the head. It's a little known fact that in prehistoric times, sometimes dinosaur bones would spontaneously reanimate, and a lot of times cave people would eat the dinosaurs, and then they would be killed by the remains in the night. There's an easy way and there's a hard way of fighting the Earth Elemental. The more challenging way is to just go right up in front of it and try to lob the Earth Scorch into the mouth. You'll definitely take some damage doing this, but you will be able to kill the Earth Elemental pretty quickly, and you probably won't lose that many lives. However, we are at the end of the game here, and every life is critical, so you may want to take the easier path. Before I show you that, I do want to point out that if you use the Earth Scorch to pick up the last piece of the Iron Sword, you will be able to keep your magic moving into the next area, so that'll give you some extra shots of the Iron Sword, but you won't keep the Earth Scorch weapon itself. Now here's the easy way to defeat the Earth Elemental. Just go forward and touch the mouth, then run back towards the door and get to this position right on top of the 3rd small stone in the floor. You'll be able to attack the boss from here, and almost nothing it shoots will be able to reach you. A very easy way to defeat the Earth Elemental. And that's it. With the Earth Elemental defeated, we have assembled the Iron Sword, and it's time to move on to the final stage, Ice Fire Mountain. Normally we'd go to the left as we climb this shaft, but if you're going for the shortcut, we want to go all the way to the top and cut across this room to the right. So just quickly get across here. We want to go all the way to the top of phase 2. That's where we're going to be able to perform the shortcut. The way that we do shortcuts in this game is by morphing into a ball, and then we're going to be mashing the select button. By doing that, you'll be able to open up these strange holes in the ground, and some of them will lead you to interesting areas. Some of the paths will open up the way to hidden worlds that can only be accessed by taking advantage of this glitch, and others, like this one, will lead to shortcuts. So you want to come all the way up here, which is all the way at the top. So climb all the way up here, and here's where you want to turn into a ball and just keep moving left and right. It actually showed up once already and we missed it. But you're looking for a hole to open up on the right side, so that's what it looks like. And once you get it, you want to drop in, make your way over to the left, and here is the column that you want to be in because you can shoot right through there. And this is phase 3. You'll be able to see when we take the normal path how much time this actually saves you. Over here, we're going to find one of those red missile doors, and when we open it up, we'll find another Chozo statue, and this one contains a strange enemy called an Arachnus, which can only be damaged with your bombs, and once he's destroyed, you'll be able to get another upgrade, the Spring Ball. So by using this shortcut, you can get to the Spring Ball very quickly, and you can even do it out of order. To get through each room, you need to shoot out any gems in the back wall. That will blow the wall up and allow us to move on. Shooting the red enemies will spawn power-ups, like that one gave us an R, which would be handy if you missed the one in stage 1. Head on over to the left here and shoot out that gem. And if you duck down in these rooms, you'll be able to dodge any enemy gunfire, and you'll also need to do it to shoot any gems that are below. You don't want to press up though, that'll push you into the electrical field, which won't kill you, but it will stun you and it could lead to your death. In this room you'll need to duck down to shoot those mines that roll forward, and if you stand slightly off center, that turret at the top won't be able to hit you. Same theory here, destroy the turret on the right, and then if you stand slightly off center to the left, neither one of those guns will be able to hit you, and you'll be able to destroy the large gem and head to the boss. This boss is called Ocular Fire, and we need to destroy the 4 glowing power cores to reveal the main boss. But before we do that, it would be good to take out these 2 spread turrets so that you don't have to deal with them when you're fighting the main eye part. If you just stand in the middle and shoot your spread upwards, you'll probably hit most of the projectiles that this thing shoots, and you'll be able to easily destroy it. Now, if we don't have the spread gun, the same theories apply. You want to stand slightly to the left here where this spread turret won't be able to hit you, and take it out. And then we're going to destroy the spread turret on the right in the same way. So stand to the left of it, right in this spot, and you'll be able to shoot it. Then we'll take out the 2 cores in the middle, and you just want to stay mostly in the middle and shoot at the eye. You should hit most of the projectiles, but if one is coming towards you at a bad angle, you do want to move out of the way of it. But this is all you really need to do. Just kind of stay towards the middle and shoot upwards. Step out of the way if you have to, but you should be able to take care of most of the projectiles with your gun. It's not a very difficult boss, and with that, we're on to stage 3. Now you'll want to make sure you have as many bombs as you can bring to level 5. Come up here in this room and we can use a candle to light it up. These enemies that look like mummies are called Gibdos. Gibdos are one of the enemy types that can drop bombs, so if you need to farm bombs from enemies, these Gibdos could be a good way to get some. Head over here through the wall to the left by using a bomb, and there's a Gibdo here we can kill to get a bomb drop without even, having a random item drop. In this room, we must defeat 5 blue dark nuts. Blue dark nuts are even harder than the red ones that we had faced previously in level 3. You still can't hit them from the front. This room is very constricting, so you use bombs if you need to, but you want to try to conserve them as much as you can. Once they're all clear, push this block on the left and take this secret passageway. on the other side of the secret passageway, if you thought we could get off easily, you were way wrong. 6 blue dark nuts in this room. Oh man, this room is intense. It's laid out a little bit better than the previous one, and if you move to the center of the room, the dark nuts will follow there. So you can try to get them to move to the middle, and then hit them with a bomb or catch them with your sword. But they will predictably move to the middle, and that's an important thing to know about them. Once they're all defeated, press the block, and we will be able to get the recorder. The recorder is a very important item. First of all, we're going to need to use it to defeat the boss of level 5, and we're also going to need to use it to open up level 7, but that's not all it actually does. You can use the recorder to actually transport you around the overworld. That's something that we'll want to do after we get out of here. With that victory, we also scored over 80,000 points, so that spawns the card matching game. Let's go check it out. It may seem like there are a lot of possibilities for how the 18 cards can be dealt, but no matter how many times Toad shovels up the deck, there are actually only 8 possible patterns. Even if you don't have this chart in front of you while playing, you can improve your chances by remembering a couple easy tips. The 3 cards in the bottom right corner are always the same: mushroom, flower, star. The card in the upper right corner, as well as the 4th card in the top row, are never 1-ups or coins, so if you reveal one of these cards, you'll always be able to find a match for it in the bottom right. By knowing this, you'll never leave empty-handed. If you are using the chart, after getting your first 2 matches, reveal the 4th card in the middle row. This, plus the cards you've already revealed, will indicate which pattern you've been dealt. Now you can match all the cards for 6 items, 30 coins, and a 1-up. This is a great way to stock up. Just remember that your inventory can only hold 28 items. If you're playing the older version, version 1.0, if you hold left as you're about to be pushed off the screen, you'll wrap over to the right side instead of dying. Now if you're playing on version 1.1, you will get killed, so understand that you may have the newer version of the game. You can use this trick to immediately defeat the boss with a screen wrap. Here's how it's done. You need to be in this position, and when you're just about to be pushed off the screen, you tap left, and then look in the upper right corner. When you see 4 blocks, that's when you tap down and right. If you do it perfectly, you'll move Mario onto the gate switch and immediately finish the boss. That's a very difficult trick to do, but it is fun to try. Especially considering that you'll see this scene with Princess Daisy that is a little bit glitched out. She still says the same thing though, just some of the letters are moved off the side of the screen. If you hold right on controller 2, Mega Man will do a super jump. He can even jump so high that he can escape from instant death pits. Even more interesting, if you wait long enough to jump out of the pit, you'll have no health, so enemies won't be able to damage you. You'll be invincible, but you won't be able to use your arm cannon anymore, although you can still use any weapons that you've taken from bosses. However, if you gain back any health, the invincibility will end. We're gonna be moving on up in Stage 3, the waterfall. But be careful, if you drop down and don't land on a platform, you will lose a life. Up here you can get the F gun if you don't already have the spread. The wider attack pattern on that weapon will be good against the basic enemies here at the beginning of the stage, and we will be able to pick up a spread gun later, so there's not a major downside to using the fire in this early part. Take out this turret on the right side, and be cautious of the enemy soldiers that are pouring in from the sides. Up here there's 2 footballs. You want to get that second football to land up above. That B is an invincibility power-up called the barrier. With the barrier, we'll be invincible, Using it will make the rest of the stage fairly easy, but make sure to remove the turret on the left side before you jump over there. When you're flashing, you're invincible, so hurry up the right side. This is where the spread gun is, so if you don't have it already, make sure to pick it up. Head on up to the top here and take out this turret above. This is about where the bee will wear off, so make sure to clear those other turrets, and you can get a machine gun here if you don't have any better weapons. Carefully jump up. We're very close to the boss. You do want to be cautious on any of the platforms in this stage. If you hold down and press the jump button, you'll fall through, so you don't want to do that in a bad spot. Stay on the left side and we'll be fighting the Shadow Beast. You can just shoot upwards and you should be able to easily take out the left arm. Then we need to remove the right arm. Killing the right arm and the left arm is not mandatory, but it'll make it a lot easier to finish off the main part, which is the mouth, which we can do by standing off center, and if you jump up in the air, you'll kill it a little bit faster. And then we'll head over to our first big core boss. The core is invulnerable until it turns blue, so just try to dodge the lasers, and then we're going to line up with a particular star in the background, so I'm going to zoom in on it so you can see which one. You want to line up the orange ship's cockpit with this star, and then pull back to the left and start tapping the button so that your options line up with you and you fire in a straight line, but make sure that you pull up after a moment so that you can dodge any laser fire. If you miss, just circle around and try it again. You'll have a few opportunities before the core turns red and self-destructs. We can actually jump over the flagpole here if we set it up just perfectly. So we're going to use this scale lift and try to get it up to the very top position, and then we're going to get a running start from this moving platform, jump barely touching that lift, and you can get over the flag. It is possible, although it's very difficult to do. Once you're past the flag, this goes on infinitely, and there is no escaping it. You'll have to let the time run out. Now here it is in slow motion. You want to wait until it drops right past the middle of that cloud, and then you want to jump. That seems to set up the subpixels or something, but you'll need to get a few more jumps to set it up in the right position. You also want to get a full running start on this bar, so get to the end and then run to the edge and jump from the very end. It's very difficult to do, but this is not the only level where you can jump over the flagpole. It's actually possible to do here in 1-1 as well. To do this, you need to be careful not to advance the screen too far to the right, just barely enough to get the turtle to come, and when it gets to the middle of that bush, you want to get a running start and jump at the end of the platform to the left. If you hit him, he'll reappear at the bottom of the screen and start walking to the right. You need to follow him, don't let him go off the screen, and you do need to collect this mushroom to get up into super form, or for some reason the trick will not work. Now I am going to speed this up, but you do need to walk with this guy the whole way to the end of the level, and make sure that you don't get hit, or you'll lose your super form and you won't be able to get over the flag. So walk him all the way over here, and you want to get to the very top of the stairs and wait on the left side. I wait to start my run until the Koopa Troopa's head gets right near that first black dot on the mountain, and then you run and just jump, and if you do it at the right time, you'll jump off of his back and go over the flag. So there it is again in slow motion. At the end of this level, we can do a classic trick to get tons of extra lives. So stop a Koopa Troopa on the stairs, and you want it to have just about that much space between the shell and the wall, and you're going to jump from the next stair down onto the left side of the shell. I usually hold up while I'm doing this, but I don't think it's necessary. You just want to keep trying to do it until you get this chain reaction, and you'll get a bunch of points, and eventually you'll start getting just so many 1-ups. If you fall off the back of the shell, just jump back on and try to get it going again, and I usually just keep doing it until the time runs out. Whenever the timer runs out, you'll notice that we'll have a crown and then some kind of symbol that shows how many lives that we have because it's too high to be displayed in numbers. There is too much of a good thing here though. I recommend only doing this trick until the time runs out once, and not coming back here and trying to do it a second time. If you actually get too many lives, whenever the time runs out or the next time the game checks to see how many lives you have, it will actually give you game over. So you can see that here. Game over, and send you all the way back to the title screen. So just do it one time and don't be too greedy. You don't need that many lives to beat this game. Now, this is the most difficult boss in the entire game. Switch to the elect beam, run to the middle of the room and get ready to jump. You only need to jump over rocks that are coming at you on the lowest and second lowest level, and on the fourth jump, we need to make a big jump that clears 2 rocks. It's very difficult to do when they're coming from the left and you can't see where the rocks are coming from, but it's a little bit easier when you can see the monster transferring himself from the left and the right. So we count 1, 2, 3, 4 is a big jump, 5, 6, turn and shoot. And he does it the same way every time. 1, 2, 3, 4 is the big jump. 5, 6, turn and shoot. And you need to keep that mental count. 1, 2, 3, big jump for 4, 5, 6, turn and shoot. And if you do die on this boss, you will reappear right before the boss if you have lives left, so that's why I recommended that you suicide at the beginning of this stage if you're low on lives. You definitely want to have as many chances as possible against this boss, because it is very difficult to get the pattern down. Now, this is You Can Beat Video Games, and I would be remiss if I didn't talk about the even easier strategy for defeating this boss. If you're sick and tired of this guy, instead of going in there and memorizing the pattern, you're only going to have to avoid the rocks one time with the elect beam trick. Due to a slight programming error, the elect beam becomes an overpowered weapon in this game. So just avoid as many of the rocks as you possibly can. You're going to turn, shoot, and as soon as you connect, just start mashing the select button. Normally, whenever you hit the boss with the elect beam, he'll get a few frames of invincibility, and the elect beam will fly right through him. But when you hit the select button, it makes his invincibility wear off, and the elect beam has such a large hitbox that it'll keep hitting him every single time you hit the select button, so you can easily defeat this guy in one shot. We're going to have to deal with a lot of red devils in this section of the level. This is where it really gets tough, so we're going to need to use an avoidance strategy. Hit the red devil when it's on the edge of the screen and run back to the left. Wait over there for a couple seconds and head back to the right, and hopefully the red devil will have disappeared. We're going to try to do this on all of the red devils that we encounter in the level until we get to the last one, which we will have to fight. Watch out for the forest ghosts and the tower monsters here, and head on up. There's going to be another red devil coming soon, right past that money bag. So hit him and run away. Feel free to run away fairly far. You want to take a second, make sure that he's gone, and head back. The red devils are extremely difficult to fight, so this is by far the best way to deal with them.
Now it's time for the boss. Quickly hop to the platform directly in front of the boss and start pelting it with axes. When you get near the bottom, you're going to have to jump to the platform above you. This usually happens right after the boss turns red, and if you hit it fast enough, you won't have to move very much to clear that guy. Inside, we'll fight the bulldozer. Equip the grenade launcher and just start rapidly shooting grenades at the bulldozer. When it gets too close to you, switch to a sub-menu, and it will reset its position, just like the tank did before. This guy you can't walk through because he doesn't shoot any bullets, and if you do touch the bulldozer, you will instantly die. You need to bring the cross from stage 3 all the way to stage 4-4 to do this, and you need to quickly make your way up here to the top. I'm going to show you all of this in slow motion, but this is what it looks like at full speed. You throw a cross and you'll get hit by the bat, and suddenly we're zipping across the room, and we can zip all the way over here to the right, and then we're past all of those moving platforms. So here's how you do it. You whip that bat, and then you want to stand between these two platforms so Simon gets pushed to the right. Then when you're in this spot, you want to jump to the right and hold in the jump button. Holding down jump will lock Simon in place, and then you want to tap to the left, and when you see the bat reach that green spot in the background, you're going to launch a cross, and then you're going to whip, hold down the attack button, and hold to the right. If you do it correctly, you'll zip into the wall, and then you need to hold to the right to move left, and then quickly switch back to holding left to move right. Once you regain control of Simon, you need to hold right to get under the spikes, but if you did it all correctly, it'll take you right to the area near the boss. For the advanced strategy, we're going to manipulate Piston's guard up by holding up at the beginning of the fight, and as soon as you see that his gloves are up, we're going to do 3 left body punches, 3 left face punches, and then a left body punch. These are all chained together, so you should be pressing and holding the button for the next attack as you see the animation for the one on screen. Then we're going to do the buffer, which is a left dodge followed by a left face punch and a super body punch. If you do it all correctly, you'll knock him down, and if you just hold A as the fight resumes, you'll immediately do a super body punch, which will knock Piston back down in phase 2. This should knock him out for good. Once you get to Wart, you'll notice there are 3 horns in the middle of the room. They spit out vegetables. You need to try to catch one, and once you have it, you want to jump from the top platform across and over Wart and get behind him, and then you can throw the vegetable into his mouth when his mouth is open. It's actually okay to stand back there. Wart will never hit you if you're all the way back against the right wall. Then one thing you need to be careful of is when you're trying to catch a vegetable, that you don't get hit by the bubbles. If you see a vegetable come out of the far right horn and head to the right side, don't even go after it. It'll almost always get hit by the bubbles or put you in a bad position. Just take your time, look for a good spot where you can catch him. You'll need to hit him 6 times. Hitting him from behind is the trick. If you try to hit him from the front, a lot of times your vegetable will hit his bubbles and it will be disintegrated before it goes into his mouth. But throwing from behind, they always go in. After the 6th hit, Wart will breathe smoke, will enter the door, and will be able to release the spirits of the subcon. You've done it. We've beaten Super Mario Bros. 2. This is Destro. For the first part of the fight, you just need to get underneath Destro's vehicle, hold up, and keep shooting. If you see it start to move downward, move out from underneath it and get ready to shoot it horizontally. Once Destro's out of his vehicle, though, that's when it gets tough. The screen starts scrolling, and if you fall into one of those gaps, it's instant death. Keep shooting to the right so you can hit Destro, and whenever you see him shoot a projectile, try to jump over that projectile and one of the gaps in the ground at the same time. You don't want to get hit out of the air and fall into a gap. Whenever you get into the sections that have a long part with no gaps, just keep shooting rapidly, and it shouldn't take too much to finish off Destro. The boss here is the Triple Threat, and this boss is pretty similar to the Double Trouble that we fought before, but this time there's a third boss involved. The good news is, with the lightning magic, we can just hang out up here on this platform, and neither the mummies nor the Cyclops are going to be able to hurt us up here. So the only one that we'll have to worry about is the third and final boss, the new one, the Leviathan. So just keep using your lightning to take out the Cyclops. It's very effective against the Cyclops. And for the third boss, I like to go over to the left side, and you'll see why in a minute. We want to lure him over there. That's just going to make it easier to fight this guy. The good news about him is that he's slow. So he'll emerge, he'll kind of do a jump, hit him with your lightning. Now this time he's going to come up above there, so you don't want to be standing there. Try to get him with some more lightning, and we've got him successfully over onto the left side. After the third jump, he launches fireballs, but if he's standing over there on the left, if you're close enough, they'll just fly over your head. So every 3 jumps he launches fireballs. You either need to have him elevated and be close, or get far away when he shoots the fireballs. And that's it. That's the triple threat. It's not really that much more difficult than the double trouble, especially if you were able to pick up that lightning magic. Now there is another way you can win, but this is difficult to do. You need to get a running start, run off the top of this pyramid of blocks, and jump from the first block on the right. If you do it perfectly, you can land in this space, and then you need to do a curvy jump to get up onto a higher space, and then one more jump can bring you up onto the ceiling. From here, you can run all the way to the boss. Now you may be thinking, I'm gonna get stuck at the end and I won't be able to finish the level, but that's not true. As soon as you get to the end, you automatically finish the level and win. The checkpoints are actually very generous in this stage. Watch out for that spike back and hang out over here to avoid the ice block. Then make your way down and quickly sprint to the right. Wait down in this spot and the snowman will actually take out this wall for us. We don't have to endanger ourselves by picking up that ice block and carrying it over here. Carefully make your way onto this moving platform over here, and then duck the snowball that comes your way, then jump all the way to the right to avoid this falling stalactite. Wait to go over these wooden poles until you see 2 snowballs come by quickly. Attack the snowman at the end, then jump over this pole and quickly duck. You'll slide under a snowball and make it to the other side. Take out this snowman and hold up to throw the snowballs at the wall, and we'll hit another checkpoint. Down here, we can jump onto this moving platform and then hold down to duck under the stalactite. You probably want to grab that one up, it'll really help you out later. Be careful to avoid this spike back here, and when you jump over this one, don't jump too high or you can actually hit the one above you, which would be a disaster. Stop this ice block, and you want to carry it all the way over here, right there, and throw it. That'll get it going fast and destroy the wall on the other side quickly before that spike back can sneak up on you and get you. This spike back is easy to avoid. Try to get these flies to restore some health. Jump over the spikes and quickly jump at the bottom and take out this snowman. That's actually a tough jump. You need to jump at the last second there. Get under this stalactite and make your way through this wall by waiting for 3 snowballs, then jump over a 4th one. So 1, 2, 3, jump. Duck, duck, duck. And then the wall will be removed. And here is another warp zone. You want to bring the platform down and then jump, 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 and that will take you to stage 6. Now, I do recommend that you use that warp zone. Stage 5 is tough, and so is the end of this level. This spike back will make the wall pop up, so you need to time your movement to get right under it. It's tough. Jump over. Right here, a small jump and hurry under. If that wall falls on top of your head, it'll crush you and you'll die. And that's it. That's the end of stage 4. Head to the right and watch out for this turret that pops up out of the ground. If you don't have the spread gun, you'll need to duck down to destroy it. Also watch out for the machine gun soldiers that pop up out of the trees. Over here we can grab another rapid fire and a mega shell, and continue to the right where we will face off with 2 more of these ground turrets. Make sure to pause occasionally to turn and shoot the alien soldiers that come from behind. They can overwhelm you if you are not careful. Right here, there's a machine gun if you need it. Get right up close to this mortar launcher and shoot it, but don't actually touch the mortar launcher. You would lose a life for that. Watch out for this guy who is prone behind some sandbags. You may need to duck down to shoot him. Keep heading to the right, watching out for the constant spawns. Now if you press down in the water, you'll actually be invincible, which is pretty awesome. If you're overwhelmed by enemies, just press down and hide for a few seconds, and pop up when the coast is clear. Keep heading to the right, take out any machine gun soldiers in the trees that you see, and duck down if you need to be invincible. When we get to the end of this, you can shoot another prone soldier without ducking. You'll be right on his level while you're in the water. Jump out of the water and continue over to the right, and we are about to fight our first mini-boss in this stage. His name is the Babaloo Destructoid Mechanism. The Babaloo is very easy to defeat. Go all the way to the right and duck down. Then turn one step to the left and just duck down and keep shooting at this guy. If you have the spread gun, you'll be able to hit him without getting up. Now, if you don't have the spread gun, you will need to pop up and shoot him. You'll still be safe from his shots, but you won't be safe from him touching you, so you'll need to duck down occasionally. And we will hit our first nightmare boss, the Kingpin. Charge up and shoot at the Kingpin on the right side. He always appears on the right first. Now you can just swing your Morning Star without charging it to hit the smaller penguins that he launches, and you'll want to kind of dodge between the bubbles whenever he shoots those out. Whenever the Kingpin is up in the air, I like to take that time to just pick a side and start charging up my Morning Star. Hopefully he'll appear on the side that I'm facing, and if he does, I'll give him a taste of the full blast. If he appears on the other side, well, I'll just release my charge, turn around, and hit him with a lesser blast. You don't want to wait too long to charge, or you may accidentally shoot one of the penguins that he releases with your full beam, and not actually hit the Kingpin at all. Just keep practicing this strategy. Charge whenever he's in the air. If he lands on your side, hit him with the full blast. If he doesn't, turn around and hit him with a half blast. And eventually, he will explode. But what if I told you there was a way to beat this one without driving around the course at all, or using any power-ups? Angle yourself to the right at the goal line, and you want to drive towards the blue cluster of 4 blocks, and you can see the spot that you're trying to aim at. It's over on the right side between the 2 blocks on the right side, so that's where you're aiming at, and you need to hit the jump button right before you hit the wall so that you elevate above it, and for just a second you're on the other side of the track so that the game counts it as a lap. To try to get multiple laps to count, I'm just holding down the B button so that I'm continuously ramming the wall, and I'm also rapidly tapping the jump button so that I keep jumping in the air, and I'm just using left and right on the direction pad to try to reposition my cart so that I can aim for that one special spot. Whenever I'm close to the spot, I'm going to try to be more precise with my jumping, because you do want to jump right before you hit the wall so that you can get higher and actually go over the wall. So that's the spot over there. We need to be more to the right, and there it is again. A little bit more to the right, and just try to elevate, and now we're on the final lap. Okay. So we're too far right. We don't want to be in the yellow. We want to be on the right side of the blue. And there it is. We were able to complete Donut Plains without going around at all. Now, any casual observer can see that Donkey Kong Jr. cheated, but if Lakitu counts the laps, those laps count. That's just how things work here in Mario Kart.
Up here on Death Mountain, you can go through this warp tile, and you can do this trick anytime after you have the Power Glove and are able to access Death Mountain, although I do recommend that you have the Moon Pearl before you try it out. Otherwise you'll have to deal with Link being a rabbit. So you want to come up to this spot and press up and to the right against that post, And you're going to use your mirror, and then you want to take the tiniest step to the right after you mirror. And when you come back to the dark world, you should not automatically teleport back. You should have to use the mirror to go back. Now, once you emerge here, you want to go all the way to the right, wait until you stop flashing, hold your sword out, and then very slowly back into the portal. You want to catch it just on the right edge. If you did it properly, you can drop down here, and you want to make sure that you go all the way to the left here so that you come out on this ledge. If you drop down in some other areas, you might get stuck and soft lock the game. But if you drop down onto that ledge, you'll be in good shape. Now, I know that the area looks a little bit glitched out right now, but as soon as we go inside somewhere and then come back out, everything will be totally fine. So if we come over here and then maybe go in the fortune teller's hut, which in the dark world is still the fortune teller's hut, whenever we come out on the other side, everything will be totally normal, and now we can explore the village of outcasts. So if you don't feel like doing the Dark Palace first and you'd rather go and do the Gargoyle's Domain where you can get the upgrade for the Power Glove, you can totally do that.
It's time to face Andross. Hold L and fly to the upper right corner. You're going to take aim at the inner part of the right eye, and you want to rapidly shoot it until it explodes. Then you can move over to the left side if you have any time. Don't worry when Andross is sucking the tiles in, you won't take any damage at that point. Now we're going to go to the upper right corner again. As soon as the eye on the left starts flashing, you want to fly over to the left and shoot at it. That will make Andross shoot the tiles to the right at first and should make things a bit easier. When the cube appears, you want to shoot it rapidly with your guns, and when it gets close to the screen, hit it with a Nova Bomb to finish it off. If you don't deal enough damage to the cube, you'll have to fight the face again, so make sure to shoot it rapidly, and don't forget to use your bomb. It's possible to do a secret code here. Morph into a ball, and as you transition through the door, hold down A, B, X, and Y. You'll suddenly have 100 missiles, 20 super missiles, and 20 power bombs, and all 5 beams will be equipped. Before we finish this round though, do not forget to get this hidden egg at the very end, which contains the Hudson Bee. This is a unique item that we can only find right here at the end of Area 1, Round 1, and I'm going to show you what that does. The Hudson Bee unlocks the continue option in the game. So if you run out of lives and die, you just want to hold left or right, either works, when you see this game over screen and press start, and you'll see you'll go right back to the beginning of the current round that you were on, although you'll go back to the starting and not the current checkpoint. Huey here will tell us that Bubba is trapped in the ice. Bubba Duck is a caveman character that was created for the show, and to free him we need to wait for these icicles to drop before jumping to the next platform. Don't miss that $50,000 diamond there. And then hit this object to the left, pogo off of it, and pogo on top of the ice cube that Bubba is frozen in, and he will reveal the 5th point of health. So now we have the full 5 health points. Very good. The classic teleporter room. You can do these bosses in any order. I'm starting with Airman here. We didn't get to use the leaf shield on him the first time we fought against him, so I want to show you what that looks like, although it still may be easier to beat him with the arm cannon. You just need to get pretty close, so I usually wait until he does the jumps to switch over to the leaf shield. After you defeat each boss, you'll get some health refilled, so that's why I'm saying you might want to take out the harder ones first. But this is an easy one. Here's Flashman. He just runs towards you just like you did last time. Take him out with the metal blades. And the metal blades are very effective against Metal Man. It only takes 1 to finish him off. Grab that health. I think I'll do Quick Man now. You can see what the full time stopper does. we can also use our air shooter to finish him off after the time stopper is worn off. The crash bombs are also good, but we had to use up so many of those on the previous boss that we don't have very many available. So yeah, the air shooter is a good option. Your arm cannon works just fine. Now I'm going to take out Crashman. Make sure you don't waste all of your air shooters fighting Quickman. You do need them for Crashman. I think I'll go over here and hit Woodman next. We'll use the Atomic Fire plan. If you mess up with the Atomic Fire and shoot it off too early, or it hits the Leaf Shield, don't be afraid to pivot to the Air Shooter plan if you still have a little bit left after fighting Quickman and Crashman. Up here in the top is Heatman. He seems to always get me here with that first attack. It's a little bit harder to avoid than it is in the room where you fight him initially, but same plan, hit him with the bubble leads. Only one is left, it's Bubble Man, so I'm going to put on my metal blades. He doesn't have the mines lining the ceiling this time, but it doesn't matter, I'm still going to use a similar pattern to defeat him. I just want to make sure I'm not standing right on top of the teleporter when he dies, so that I can still get that health refill. And here it is, the fight with Dr. Wily. Just use your metal blades and shoot upwards at an angle at the cockpit, and you will waste this guy's life super fast. He does have 2 life bars, just like the Dr. Wily at the end of the first game. So if you get low on health, don't be afraid to use one of your energy tanks. Now, as Nightcrawler, we can do something pretty amazing in this stage. You can actually skip the Mojo fight. To do it, you want to stay on the upper path and keep going right until you reach a dead end with a health power-up. Whenever you get there, you're going to crouch down in the lower right corner, and while holding down and right, you're going to tap A to teleport. So here's the spot right here. Tap A to teleport, and then you're going to hold B to glide, and just stay moving to the right, don't go back to the left, and you won't have to face Mojo at all. Now, what if I told you you can beat the entire game in under 10 minutes, and we're going to do it on superhero mode just for fun. Select Gambit, and as you jump over onto the spot that takes you to the next stage, hold down A and release it as soon as you see the next screen, and you'll warp back to the danger room. Do this 3 times, and that will take you to the Excalibur Lighthouse. So we did it 3 times, now we're going to switch over to Nightcrawler, because we need to play through the first part of the Excalibur Lighthouse, but there is another big shortcut we can use here. So quickly work your way to the right and eliminate Sabretooth with your assists. You definitely won't need them after this battle, so we'll launch Storm here, and that should do the trick. And then we're going to head over to the right, where we'll get rid of the sword to open the door, but then we need to switch to Gambit. So switch to Gambit here, and as you enter the door, hold down A and release it on the next screen to skip the next part of the stage. Now that's all of the Gambit skips that we are able to do. You can't skip any more levels with him, but you can skip quite a couple. Rover Mansion has a very sneaky beginning to it. As you head across to the right, it looks like you need to go up these stairs and work your way across the top of the mansion. But no, you need to do a whip jump here and then jump through the wall on the right. That wall is actually an illusion. Now, this is the actual part of the mansion that you need to go into. The enemies here are certainly a bit easier than the ones we faced in the Ruba Mansion. Watch out for this moving platform, you don't want it to knock you off into the water. Take out the Skeleton Knight, and down here on the bottom, you'll be able to buy an oak stake for the 50 hearts, as usual. We will need that stake to be able to get the heart at the end of the mansion. We'll want to come back here to the left and take the stairway up. Rover Mansion does have one kind of tricky platforming sequence in it, and you'll be seeing that shortly. Keep taking the stairways up. Once you get up to the top, we're going to head over to the right. Just whip through these guys. It seems like you get a free hit after you level up, so I think that's why I didn't take damage there. Kind of strange though, I'm not gonna lie. And here it is. This part's tricky. You need to walk to the edge of the platform and jump across. If you bump your head, you'll fall down and you'll need to repeat it again. Just keep trying that part until you get it. It is a little bit tricky, but you just want to keep your momentum as you move left, right, and weave between the platforms. Come down here, we will equip our oak stake, and we now possess Dracula's heart. In the instruction manual, it says, "Watch out, the heart attacks."
We can now proceed on to the secret level up zone. And there it is. It's at the very tip of that peninsula. The first thing we need to do is use a tent to save the game. These are very dangerous enemies up here. This area actually has the same enemy set as the area north of it. It just happens to extend down to this small area. Normally you'd need to have levels in the high teens or maybe even 20s to fight these monsters, but we're going to do it at level 5. It is possible we can get a bad monster though, and this Tyro is one of them. If you see a Tyro, that guy will wreck our party. You might as well just reset. Let's try that again. Alright, we got Zombols this time, and that's what we were looking for. The Zombols and the Troll that came with them this time are both weak against fire magic, so our Fire 2 spell is going to deal significant damage to each one of these guys. Almost 100 in each hit, and the Troll took 146. Very good. Now we can use our fighter and our remaining magic spells to clean up the rest of the battle. The Black Belt can try to help out too, but he will not be able to deal a lot of damage at this point. This is going to be one of the more difficult battles we fight in the game, but whenever we survive this one, we're going to get really good rewards. Each of those Zombols is worth 1,050 experience points and 1,050 gold. If we survive this battle, we will be immediately promoted to level 6, which is extremely nice. And if we don't survive the battle, well, we saved right before this, so we can just continue and try again. No harm, no foul. Alright, only one enemy remaining, and he has already been damaged, so an all-out attack should be able to finish him off. Let's go. Looks like we can use maybe Lit? Yeah, it's not going to be great, but if we had the fire magic on our red mage, it would be good in this particular battle. And that's it. We've done it. In a single battle, we gained an entire level of experience. That would have normally taken 15, 20, maybe even 30 minutes doing it the normal way, but we did it in just one battle. And that's not the only time we can do this. Fighting these enemies is going to help us get to level 7, maybe even level 8 if we want it. These enemies are designed for much higher level encounters, so the experience points that we get for fighting them is going to be good.
It's possible to skip the boss here, but you need to reduce your health down until you have only 2 points of health left, so your lamp should look like mine does now. Then just hold to the right and jump when you reach the wall. You'll get hit by the Shiva monkey, but you'll damage boost up over the wall, and then you can just climb the mountain. Be careful because you're on your last point of health, but when you reach the lamp, you'll complete the level without fighting the boss at all. There's a rock that will fall off on a ledge down here, but right next to that rock, a raptor always ambushes you, so as you pass this rock, get ready to take out a raptor. You'll need to do that every time you cross that path. From here, you're going to go down both sets of stairs, And then if you head into this corner, that's where the secret level is. The secret level is pretty small. If you head straight back, you'll find some ammo for the rocket launcher, the shotgun, or the bolas. We don't really need shotgun ammo, but it's nice that the 2 weapons that we're using you can replenish right here. But that's not all you'll find in here. If you push through this wall, you'll find a secret room that contains a 1-up. Now you may also be wondering, what's up with the big D? Scattered all around the world of this game, mostly in the outside areas, are a bunch of letters, and if you find them all, write them down and unscramble them, they make the name Dr. Horner. Dr. Horner is a famous paleontologist that was a consultant on the Jurassic Park book and movies. They say that the character of Dr. Grant may even be loosely based on him, and he even made a cameo appearance in Jurassic World. The most exciting thing about this area, though, is that you can continue to go in and out of the secret level to collect the extra life as many times as you want, essentially giving you infinite lives. This takes a lot of practice though. The way to do it is you want to get about this distance from the boss, punch him twice, and then quickly punch 1 time to the left, and then start punching to the right 2 times again. So you need to do 2 punches to the right, 1 punch to the left, 2 punches to the right, 1 punch to the left. You want to get a good rhythm going so you can just focus on the rights and the lefts. So once you see one coming, just get him to follow you, and you want to walk all the way up to the barrier and hold down, right, and B. Then when that guy hits you, there's a good chance that you'll go through the barrier and come down to the bottom. It doesn't always work. If you need to do it again, then just grab another enemy and try it a second time. And you'll need a cape to do this next trick. So you want to be Cape Mario, and you need to come down to this bonus pipe. Grab the P switch, get a running start, and do a big jump to get across the lava. Carry the P switch back to the left and go down into the pipe again. Now there will be 2 P switches. You want to try to drop one on top of the other one so you can pick them both up at the same time, and you may think that they need to be exactly on top of each other, but they actually need to be slightly offset. I'll zoom in so you can see better what it looks like. So that's what 2 P switches picked up at the same time looks like. And once you have them both in hand, get a running start again and do a big jump, holding down the jump button so that you can get across the lava. Once you're on the other side, I like to head over here to the right so I can get a little bit of runway to get a big jump back to the left. And you want to make your way over to where you can find Yoshi. You want to launch both of those P switches up into the block with Yoshi, so hold up and release Y, and if you did it correctly, you'll get 2 Yoshis that pop out of the same block. Mount the Yoshi, drop down to the right, and immediately dismount and hold to the left before you die, and you'll reappear back up on the top, but you'll be riding an invisible Yoshi. Not only is this Yoshi invisible, he's also invincible. So you will not be able to be damaged by enemies, although you can die by falling off the bottom of the screen. Unfortunately, whenever you get to the end, he will turn back into normal Yoshi, so you won't be able to keep invisible Yoshi for the rest of the game. You'll only be able to use him here in Yoshi's Island 3. So while maybe it's not the most practical trick, it's not that difficult to do.
We begin the game's second stage, the Great Wall of China. At the very beginning of the stage, we're going to see Lisa, and you must touch Lisa to be able to get the crusty stone statue. So if you miss her, just do a bunch of jumps and go back up the hill. You want to be all the way at the top of the screen and do a jump. You'll hear a little noise if you did it properly. You can press right to get going faster here in the downhill sections, but you don't actually need to be going faster. You want to collect all of these collectibles, and there's no timer here. Try to avoid those gray patches, they'll do you damage, and whenever you see doors like this, always take the bottom door. Over here, we're going to come to some ramps. You need to jump as soon as your whole skateboard is on the ramp. So once you're on the ramp, hit the jump button. I recommend holding down the jump button. You don't need to do that for these first ramps, but you will need to do it later. And right there is the crusty stone statue. If you missed it, just jump back up the hill and get it. Over here, we're going to see some big ramps. You need to have a little bit of speed here, but you don't need to be going that fast. Also, make sure to hold down the jump button so you get the maximum height off of those ramps. And that's going to take you down to the bottom, where there's going to be 2 doors again. Always pick the bottom door, don't forget that, because if you pick the top door down here, you'll have to repeat the entire stage. So you do not want to do that. Make sure to go out the bottom door.
So we'll jump into World 6-9. 6-9 is actually filled with secrets, but we'll take the normal path through first. If you head up here on top, you'll be able to find some power-ups. Watch out for those munchers, but you're going to be able to do something interesting with the munchers in this world. If you hit one of those P switches, you'll be able to turn them into coins, and there's a P switch right over here. So hit that P switch and try to collect as many of the munchers turned into coins as you can. Not only will they add to your coin total, but there won't be munchers there anymore. That note block has a power-up in it, but the pipe you're looking for is right here. That will take you to the goal. If you have a spare frog suit in your inventory, you may want to equip that before you come into World 6-9. The frog suit, of course, allows you to swim more quickly, and it allows you to swim against the current, so you can go down to this area and enter this bonus room. Inside, you'll find another one of those large question mark blocks, and it has 3 1-ups inside. This is a very unique looking bonus room though. It's the only one in the game that looks like that. With the frog suit, it's not that easy to finish the level, so you may want to get a power up like the one in this note block here whenever you exit the bonus room. If you want to keep the frog suit, just watch out for this Venus fire trap before you hit the exit pipe. Now, if you're small Mario, it's possible to do a wall jump here and get over the wall and go right to the goal. And there it is. So here it is in slow motion. You want to run, you need to jump at the seam between 2 wall tiles, and right as you hit the wall, you need to hit the A button again. It's extremely difficult to do, and I would say it's the most difficult trick in this entire video. But it is a shortcut to get through World 6-9, and if you're having trouble with 6-9, you can get over that wall using a P-wing as well. Now, the most important thing here in the beginning of the game is that we can find some bombs, and bombs are dropped by enemies. It seems random, but if you do what I do here, don't kill any of these enemies, we can only get bombs to drop from certain enemy types, and it also depends on what order you kill the enemies in. So the first enemy we want to kill is a blue Octorok. So here in this room we find one, take him out, and look, drop the bombs already, so we're already in business. We're just hoping to find at least 1 bomb drop. But once you get those, come to this screen on the right and take out the 4 red Octoroks here, because the 1st, 6th, and 8th enemy that you kill will give you a chance to drop a bomb, and so this will give us an 80% chance to start the game with bombs. And we're going to fight the green Bobo. There's a trick to beating him. You want to walk like through him and then start moving him to the left. Then once you get him right to the edge of the wall, you can do a jump kick and kill him in 1 shot. You'll know it's working if you're moving him and he's not able to punch you, so you're just going to walk through and then walk back to the left. Oh, got stuck there. Do it again. Try to get through, and then once you're pushing him, you know that it's working. You don't want to push him too far, just so his arm is about touching the wall. Then give him the jump kick, take out the second one, and go through the door. That guy's very difficult if you don't do that. This is where the speeder bike starts, so get ready for it. Now you see that kind of brown line in the upper track? That's where you want to be when you're on the upper part, and slightly below that is where you want to be when you're dodging downwards. You don't want to go all the way to the top or all the way to the bottom ever. You want to stay more towards the middle. That'll make it a lot more easy to dodge the walls quickly. We hit the first checkpoint, so we're doing good. This white ramp you just have to drive over in the center and you'll automatically go over to the next part. Same thing here. Then dodge some walls, hit that little ramp, you'll automatically make it to the other side, but watch out, there's a wall, so you don't want to be on the top there. If you're having trouble with the turbo tunnel, I want to recommend that you use the NES Advantage joystick controller. I don't recommend using it for the rest of the game. You just want to pause and tag that controller in. Carefully pull out the other one and switch to the NES Advantage. It actually makes this section way easier. It's much more responsive than the standard NES D-pad. So if you're having trouble with this, try switching to the NES Advantage controller. It's also useful later in the game for the Clinger Ringers level. And you can actually jump over that big wall in the center. It's kind of a weird thing. Hit these ramps. Little tiny tap jumps over those walls. Now, over here you want to get under two walls and then you have to jump to hit that ramp that's up in the air. These are called rat pods, and the third one, wait for the fourth one to come by and avoid both of them at the same time. And in this area, you need to jump and hold the A button until you make it to the next part. That's tricky. Now here you want to remember, stay towards the middle and just little taps, up, down, up, down, up, down. And then there's 3 walls to jump at the end. And that's it. You've beaten the turbo tunnel. If we use the door trick to get up into the ceiling here, we can access a whole secret world that isn't on any map in any of the official guidebooks. This stuff is straight off the books. It's weird too. It's a little bit glitchy. There's all kind of strange stuff to find, and we're just gonna go to the top of the screen and then just keep jumping. Just mash the jump button, and I'm gonna speed this up. It takes a long time to do. You need to do it very carefully. If you mess up, you can get stuck in the wall and you won't be able to escape. So that's problem number 1 with trying this out, but it's an interesting thing to see. So we're just going to keep going up until we get to a door, and then we can exit into this secret area. Now, if you go through the door on the left there, you'll get stuck and you'll probably die. The screen won't advance over to the left. Same thing with the door on the right at the bottom. This area here isn't particularly unique looking, so it's not very exciting, but if we go into this door over here and go up another level, there's way more interesting stuff up above us here. These Zebo enemies are very annoying right here. And one of the things that we're going to be able to find is another room where we can fight Ridley. Now, I'm doing this before I actually killed Ridley in the game, and I tested it. If you defeat him here in the secret zone, you won't be able to fight him again below, and you will get rewarded with the 75 missiles. So this is a very weird way that we can come up and fight Ridley. He's actually in the door over here on the right. And there he is. We actually go through the missile door, which is super strange. There's not a lot of ice we have to deal with here. In fact, there's a very easy shortcut in this level that will take us right to the end. But first, we're going to make our way to the left, where we will be able to grab a potion and get a mushroom so that we'll have an extra hit to use whenever we have to fight the boss. Hitch a ride on one of Birdo's eggs and make your way across this lake. On the other side, get a running start and take a big jump across that gap, skip the first door and go into the second one, and you'll find the magic ball, and we're already to the boss. His name is Fry Guy. Fry Guy floats around the room, so I like to grab the mushroom block from the middle and try to hit him as he floats over to the left. He never seems to go all the way to the upper left corner, so you're mostly safe over there. Remember that you can wrap around the edge of the room and go from the left side to the right side quickly. And once he's been hit 3 times, he turns into these 4 Fry kids, not to be confused with the ones from McDonald's. And they can only jump so high, so if you can grab a mushroom block and get to a very high point in the room, you can just drop it down on top of them without being worried that they'll be able to jump all the way up there and hit you. And that's it. We've completed World 4.
Alright, we're going to equip a whole bunch of magic spells here. So put on Shield, Jump, Reflect, and then get ready to cast Thunder, but don't cast it until the boss appears on the screen. There he is, cast Thunder. That will turn him blue, and now you just want to jump and attack the headdress. You're not trying to hit the face. You want to hit that headdress above the face. Now, this guy does a lot of damage if he hits you, but that reflect magic will actually allow your shield to block a lot of his fireballs. We can get very aggressive with the Thunderbird here. If we do take hits, our shield magic will help out as well. And we have such a high level of attack that it won't take very many to get this guy. It's almost impossible to defeat this guy without using this cocktail of spells. Unfortunately, it leaves us with not enough magic to cast Life, but if you just take care of this guy, you will essentially have beaten the game, because the final boss is super easy.
If you press this button and head over to the right, this platform will spawn down here. Stand on it and then hold up so that it disappears underneath your feet. Then you want to take a quick step to the left, jump up to the right, and try to jump again before the platform respawns. You need to jump immediately as you land. If you do it, you'll be able to walk on air, and if you just keep moving over to the right, you'll eventually hit the boundary that will take you to the final boss. And there it is.
The boss of the level is a lava dragon named Barba. Barba may be the most difficult boss in the game, just because he's located next to these lava pits, which are instant death hazards. You want to crouch down at the edge of this platform and just start attacking before he appears to get a quick hit. Once he drops down, he could appear from any of the lava pits. Whenever he appears to the left or the right of you, you want to get very close to the dragon, jump and attack him in the head. But when he's far away, you want to stay far from the dragon so that the fire doesn't hit you. Whenever he's nearby, I like to just kind of crouch down and stab and just hope I hit him sometimes. When he's far, stay far. When he's close, get close, jump, and attack. And make sure to try to attack as he drops down as well. So those are the times to get him: when he appears, right before he does the fire, and right before he goes back into the lava. Just try to get him in the face. Eventually he will explode. Don't ever jump off of this platform while you're fighting him. You don't want to end up in the lava. Just take the hits, make sure your shield magic is on, and Barba should not be a big problem. We know that you can beat him here at You Can Beat Video Games.
Before we get started, there is a very interesting password you can use in this game, and it makes the shape of a big X starting at A1, so it's very easy to remember how to do it. Once you've put this password in, you'll notice that none of the robot masters have been cleared yet. However, we start the game with an item called the energy balancer, and that's it down at the bottom of the screen in the middle between the energy tanks and the extra lives. We are not supposed to have that item yet, and we can use it to trigger a glitch. You need to go to the Windman stage and work your way to this room where you can fight this Pandita enemy. We need to keep farming this enemy until it drops a small ammo refill item, and you can go back down the ladder to make this enemy respawn. So it may take a while, you may have to kill this enemy many times to get it to drop the item, but it eventually will happen. And then we need to get, there it is. We need to get the same item from this enemy right here, and oh, we got it on the first try, that's awesome, but if you don't get it on the first try, you can just walk back to the left to make that enemy respawn as well. Down in this room, we're going to clear these two enemies, and if one of them drops another small ammo refill, we may be able to skip a third boss, but that's what this trick is going to do. After you collect those two small ammo refills, you just need to run out of lives so that we can get back to the stage select screen, and that should do it. Right away you'll notice that our password is different, which is very strange since we didn't actually clear anything, but you'll see here that Nightman and Centaur Man are gone. How to make Duck Vader appear. You need to collect enough carrots so that you have a multiple of 11 in your inventory. So we're talking 11, 22, 33, and you need to make sure that you have that many carrots at the end of level 1-2 because there's no carrots in level 1-3. Then you just need to defeat the boss, and I'll show you a very fast way to defeat Gene Splicer. We're gonna hop on his head 3 times, and we're just gonna pop up right above him each time. 1, 2, 3. So if you're confident, you can do that, but that's not important for getting Duck Vader. What is important is that you have 33 carrots or some other multiple of 11. After collecting the key, whenever we return to the map, Vader's Star Destroyer will immediately fly over and pick us up. And you'll see this little scene. Get ready to face the boss. The first thing we want to do is hop on both of the stormtroopers at the bottom and then stand underneath Duck Vader. We want to wait until he gets down to a lower position, and now we're going to bounce off of the stormtroopers' heads to land on him. When he's over on one of the sides, he's much easier to hit. Make sure you're holding down both B and A whenever you jump off of a stormtrooper's head to get maximum boost, and you will get a reward of 3 extra lives if you beat him. You can do this at the end of each world, just be aware that some levels do not have carrots for you to collect. Now if you've been wondering about how to get the Silver Yoshi, this is the level where you can do it. Ride a Yoshi to the end of the level where you'll see an arrow sign next to a bullet bill cannon. It's okay if you found the Yoshi in Outrageous or if you brought it from outside. You want to walk so close to the edge here that whenever you dismount from Yoshi, he'll fall into the pit. So you need to get really close to the edge, and you need to time your dismount so that Yoshi falls off the screen at the same time the bullet cannon fires. If you do it correctly, it will look like the bullet bill has teleported to Mario. The timing for this is very precise, so if you need to practice, I recommend playing on something like the Nintendo Switch that has rewind or save state features. Once you've teleported the bullet bill, all you need to do is finish the stage normally, and whenever you get back to the map screen, it will look like Mario is riding on some kind of glitch. So you know you got it now, and whenever you go into another level, Mario will be riding a Silver Yoshi. The Silver Yoshi seems to have the same properties as a yellow Yoshi, so I think that this is just a color palette glitch that's causing the Yoshi to have the wrong coloration, although I wonder what would happen if we started with a different colored Yoshi instead of a green one. Unfortunately, it's not some kind of Uber Yoshi that has the abilities of the red, blue, and yellow Yoshi, although that would have been super cool, and I kinda wish the developers would have included it. I don't think it would have been better than the blue Yoshi, but just for coolness factor alone, it would have been totally worth it. The best thing about the Silver Yoshi is that it doesn't go away whenever you finish a level, so you can keep riding it as long as it stays alive. This is the wrong warp. Now you need to do everything precisely here, and I recommend having a raccoon tail before you come in. So kick that first Koopa down to the bottom of the shaft, go up the right pipe and kill all 3 piranha plants here. Go up this pipe, don't hit any of these coin boxes, just walk off the side. You're gonna whack this guy with your tail, pick up the shell and go up the pipe on the left. When you get to the top of the pipe, you're going to press up against the right pipe and kick the shell so that it goes away. Then you're going to whack this guy, and you're going to press up against this box and kick him. Now you want to hit this guy when he's moving upwards, grab the shell and take it down to the bottom. Now this is very important, it has to be precise. You need to stop this shell so that it's just touching that pipe, and that's not close enough. That's not it either. Pretty close, but not close enough. It needs to be perfectly touching, and that's it. So that's what it will look like. And as soon as you get it, you need to go down this pipe. If you haven't been hit yet, as soon as you go down this pipe, get hit once. You need to be in super form for this to work though. Grab this Koopa shell, and we're going to stand right under the middle of this pipe facing right. Make sure you're under the middle of the pipe. Wait, and right before the Koopa is about to come out of his shell, go up the pipe. You'll get hit, and you need to go immediately back down. Now we just have to clip into the side of this pipe. You want to run to the left and jump at the side of the pipe and press down and left. It may take a few tries to get it, but you'll start scrolling down into this blackness. Now if we did everything correctly, when the screen stops scrolling, we're going to press A and it should take us to the princess. Now it's possible that it won't work for you if you're playing on the wrong version of the game. It does not work on the PAL version. I couldn't get it to work on Nintendo Switch. And if you're playing on an emulator, you need to have the right version of the ROM. But if you're playing on a regular NES, you should be able to make the princess appear. Here's a more difficult trick. As Fire Mario, ride Yoshi to the end of the level, but don't eat the piranha plant and don't go so far to the right that the charging Chuck spawns in. We're going to try to dismount from Yoshi and spit a fireball at the same time. So when the Rex is right here, press X and A at the same time while holding down and right on the control pad, and if you time it right, Yoshi's tongue will touch the coin, but Mario will collect the coin first before he can swallow it, and you'll get a glitched item in your item box, and when you press select to use it, you'll find that that glitched item is this green orb that normally you would only be able to find in the sunken ship level. Assuming you can get up to the top of the screen to touch it, you can use this item to instantly clear any level. One thing that you should not do with it, however, is try to use it in the bonus room. You'll need Yoshi to get a boost up to where the orb is, but it will take you to an empty bonus game that never ends. And this will soft lock the game. You'll have to reset. And finally, we come to number 1. This clip got almost 4 times as many views as the number 2 video, making it by far the most popular retro game tip of the year. All we could do now is sit back, relax, and enjoy Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: The Dam.
Walk to the edge and press the button hard. Nope. Once you're in the swimming stage, this is where Michelangelo really shines. Now, don't worry too much about the timer. If you follow this path that I'm about to do, the timer will not be a problem, so try to avoid taking some damage at the beginning. Definitely swim up at that area and avoid that seaweed in the bottom. It's an instant death hazard. We're going to come over here to the right. Try to avoid this spinning wheel. If you take a little bit of damage, that's okay. Here's another bomb. Defuse it. Now, after this lightning, we're going to go down. It's very important. If you miss this bomb, the entire thing is messed up. So head over to the left. Stay far away from that seaweed. That's the kind that can instantly kill you. And then head back to the right after you defuse it. Alright, the wheel is a little bit tricky, but
going to go back up and head to the right. Now, there's a very strong current here in the water, so it might help you get through the lightning before you defuse the bomb, but you might as well just get hit on your way out. Now, quickly switch to whatever turtle you have that has the most health that's not Donatello. Alright, this part, you can easily take a ton of damage here, so make sure to be able to pause and switch turtles if you're going to die. You do not want to lose a turtle here. You'll have to start the whole thing over. Although the bombs that you defused will already be defused, but that's not super helpful. Alright, the fourth lightning here is pretty hard to avoid, so you might just want to go through it. And head over to the right to defuse another bomb. This lightning is also very difficult to avoid on the way back, so you might just want to go right through it. And there will be another bomb here to the right. Once again, you'll go back the way you came, and don't worry about the lightning, just go through. Go down to the bottom and stay away from that instant death seaweed. The other stuff only deals damage, but that kind will kill you, and this is the last bomb, so if you're low on time, just go through the lightning if you have to. And that's Area 2.
So that may be it for this year's Top 100, but there are still so many more retro gaming secrets and strategies to reveal, and that's why we'll be back again next week with another video game you can beat. Thanks for watching.